Hello and welcome to the SPE Fracking with Jell-O video. My name is Kyle and I'll be leading the experiment today. So the first step in the experiment is to take your Jell-O and follow the directions in order to fill up your baking sheet full of Jell-O. In the interest of time, I will skip to pre-prepared Jell-O like so. Next step you could do even before your Jell-O was ready if you wanted, is to prepare your injection straw. So you're going to need a straw. We typically use the ones that have the bendy elbow here, and that makes it easier to attach the syringe later. And then you'll need either, I have a safety pin here, or you could use a thumbtack, and then you're just going to make some holes somewhat back from the end of the straw along the sides in the area in which we're going to frack. So these perforations need to be spaced out relatively far apart, such as that. You want to make sure that the holes do actually have openings so that when we inject the syrup later, it will be able to flow through these holes. So take a look at the holes, make sure they're good. You're probably going to want to do, if we take a look how far this is going to come in, we can do a few more. Let's do maybe 5. So I have 2 on each side already. Here's 3 sets, 4 sets, and then 5 sets. Okay, and now the next step for your straw is you're going to want to take some tape, and you're going to tape masking tape over the end here so no syrup can leave through the end of this straw. And then you can also go ahead and grab your syringe, insert it into the straw, and tape the straw onto the syringe. This will allow us to hold on to the syringe and straw easier when we go to inject into the syrup. So in the interest of time, I have completed another one, just so. So as you can see, there's tape connecting the straw and the syringe as well as tape on the end here. Our next step will be to create an opening in our foil pan so that we're able to insert the drinking straw. In the past I've used a drill before, but in this instance just going to use some scissors. And now you do have to use considerable amount of pressure in order to break through. You want to be in about the middle of where the Jell-O is going to be. And there we go. Now just make sure that middle horizontally as well as vertically, by the way. And then you're going to want to make sure that that hole is wide enough so that we can fit a straw through. Now we can begin the fun part of the experiment. And we're going to drill out a hole in the Jell-O by using a secondary straw. This straw doesn't have any holes in it, and I'm just going to insert it in, and we're going to go in about the distance we think we need from the straw we created earlier. So if I look at the holes that I've created here, and I can measure it out from about where it'll be set, that looks pretty good. Maybe go a little bit further, trying to stay horizontal, and then you can pull it back out, and we've just drilled our hole. The next step is then to pre-fill your straw with syrup. I'm just going to use a measuring cup to help me out. You want to fill the straw up as well as the syringe, so you're going to need to let the syrup flow down from the syringe into the straw as well. That's why I have it in the cup here, just to catch anything that might seep out. Make sure it gets in there. It is flowing down. I'm just going to speed it up here with the plunger. You want to make sure that the syrup's all the way in the straw so that you don't have any air left over in the straw, so that it doesn't cause problems with our frack. Okay, there we go. I just saw syrup coming out of the holes, so that's a good sign. Gonna fill it up just a little bit more. This is a 10 milliliter syringe. Make sure that we have enough to create a good frac. And now with the syringe full, we can go ahead and bend it, make sure we have our holes in the correct orientation, and insert it into our Jell-O. So it should go in relatively easily in the drill hole that we already created. And next we will put the plunger back in, and with relatively steady pressure we will attempt to create a frac. So we did have some syrup come through the surface, but hopefully you were able to see there what the frac actually looked like. Here I will zoom in. This frac did come towards the surface, which can happen. It depends on how the Jell-O sets up and how your holes and everything is oriented. But hopefully you can see there it's pretty clear that the syrup has entered onto pretty much one plane and has moved out horizontally from the straw. And that concludes fracking with Jell-O. I hope you enjoyed this video.